name is Jessica Whitaker. I am a New York City-based photographer, and I'm also the founder of a nonprofit that provides free photography education to youth across the globe. Today's video, I'm going to be answering the question that I get asked so often, whether it's from other photographers or from my own photography clients: what do I wear to photo shoots? A big factor in how your images turn out and the look and feel are based on the wardrobe. I'm excited to dive into this video, and I actually was just going to share this in my online photography workshop, but Skillshare gave me the opportunity to share it here on YouTube for free for you. If you like what you see here on YouTube, if you enjoy the free content that I share on Instagram on a daily basis, whether it's links to podcasts, resources, tools, live Q&As, answering your specific business questions about your specific business, you are going to love my online photography marketing workshop. It's $558 for lifetime access. It has changed so many lives, legacies, and businesses, and I cannot wait for it to do the same to you. I'll have my workshop linked down below. I really encourage you to take a browse, watch the testimonials. I have a full lesson plan that I share on the workshop landing page. Check it out if you're ready to take that next step with your photography business. Skillshare is an online learning platform with over 25,000 classes in design, business, technology, and more. If you are like me and you freelance with photography, whether it's full-time, part-time, on the side of your 9 to 5, just on the weekends, we all have things that we need to brush up on or learn when it comes to our business. Maybe it's graphic design, maybe it's learning Lightroom, maybe it's developing presets, maybe it's even something more fun like calligraphy. All of the classes are taught by industry professionals, by industry leaders. Low key, it's a community college without the price tag attached. Premium membership gives you access to all of these classes. It gives you access to this whole new realm of education. With that all being said, Skillshare is super affordable. Premium membership is about $10 a month. The first 500 people who check out the link below to start the free trial will get access to premium membership for 2 months free. Let's hop into now the video. The first guideline I want to give y'all when it comes to what to wear in photo shoots. This is for anyone who is watching this video, who is interested in booking like a model or a client, or for photographers to give instructions for their clients. The first guideline I have for you is please wear whatever you feel the most confident in. Whatever makes you feel confident and excited. Wear whatever also you feel comfortable in. I will elaborate more on what I mean by what you feel most comfortable in a few minutes. What you wear the day of the session affects the final result more than anything else. With that being said, I'm going to start off by what to avoid wearing. First off thing that you need to avoid wearing is small, thin, horizontal black and white stripes. I don't know the term for it. You can let me know in the comments down below. I could easily Googled it, but computer screens just do not like these small black and white stripes. It trips out. It looks like it's moving optical illusion. Just try to avoid those. You want to avoid anything that is ill-fitting, that is unflattering. This is going to contribute to how you feel about the final result. If your clothes do not fit you right, if they're too small in an area, if they're too big in an area, if they're too big overall, if they're too small overall, if something's pulling or something's gaping or something's too loose where it's not supposed to be, it's ill-fitting, it doesn't fit you, it's going to affect how you feel about the final result. If you feel like you are not a good judge when it comes to clothing maybe fitting you, or have somebody that you know and trust come along with you, whether it's in your wardrobe or in the store, to help you pick out clothes that will flatter your figure and make you feel and look your absolute best. What I want you to avoid as well, and this is going to tie into the comfort, feeling comfortable, is anything that has to be adjusted and fiddled around with a ton. What I think of immediately is a strapless top that might not be like fit like a glove, like a strapless top that you have to constantly be adjusting up. This could be anything from the wrong undergarments under a strapless top or dress, whatever, the wrong undergarments under it, to even like a skirt where the zipper is kind of broken. I don't want your mind to be stressing out about covering up parts of the clothes that aren't fitting properly, or the zipper is broken, or adjusting things and fiddling with things and pulling things up. I I understand that sometimes as photographers, I'm going to speak to you, that there'll be times when we're going to just have to make things work. Maybe you found, for instance, like a thrifted wedding dress that doesn't fit properly on your model, but you're going to like safety pin it back, or you're going to have to make sure, okay, well the zipper is gaping open, so we're going to do this, just make sure I understand those cases. But when it comes to client sessions, this is who this video is for, is clients. I don't want your mind to be on that. I don't want your mind to be on that. Models, style shoots are one thing, client sessions are another. I don't want your mind to be stressed out about the clothes that you have on your body. The last thing that I want you to avoid, and I know that there are still so many other things, but you know, I just want to give you some guidelines, is I want you to avoid clothes that have logos on them. Generally speaking, big logos, like bold logos, like I'm thinking those sweatshirts that have the big Adidas logo on the front. I have one of those, but I'm not going to wear it on a session. Logo graphics, to me, and to a lot of others, are very distracting. Now, let's hop into what to wear. And guess what? I'm not going to give you outfit combos and outfit specifics because everybody's wardrobe is different, but I'm going to share with you a few different elements to focus on so that you can pull from your own wardrobe, or if you're going shopping or thrifting or whatever that looks like for the shoot, you can have in mind when you're picking out what you're going to wear. Number one is I want you to focus on textures. Shirts that have detail around the neckline or long sleeves with details. Conveniently, my mind is so powerful, oh my gosh, my mind is so powerful. I didn't even think about what I was wearing. This shirt would be the perfect thing to photograph because look, I have a lot of detail up here on the neckline, so if I'm doing a close-up portrait shot, I have a little bit of interest going on, and I also have some interest happening on the sleeves as opposed to maybe being sleeveless. Now, there's nothing wrong with being sleeveless, but this does add a bit more texture. It adds a bit more interest to the shot. Does that make sense? It adds a little bit of dynamic to it, and this has nice embroiders. This can also be translated into menswear, just anything that has a little bit of detail and interest. I'm even thinking like maybe for a guy, instead of like a full-on like true collared shirt, maybe you do like a mandarin collar underneath a sweater or something, or underneath, I don't know, like a sweater that's a crew neck. That tiny bit of detail could just add a little bit of interest. You can get creative. Look at what you have in your wardrobe that has interest from like collarbone up or sleeves. Next up is complementary colors, or just honestly color play in general. What colors pair well together in your wardrobe? You can look at the color wheel if you want to get scientific with it, but I just want to give you the general guidelines of how color will affect the overall feel and look of your images. A few of my favorite colors for my own photography style, what kind of backgrounds and environment I typically shoot in with my clients, a few of my favorite colors I think pair well with those environments and come off well on camera are mustard yellow, marigold, red, any kind of red, cornflower blue, dark green. This might vary photographer to photographer, what colors you would suggest and prefer, like your color palette, and it needs to obviously go with the client, but those are some great colors that I suggest if somebody asks me, because they work well typically with the setting that we are going to be shooting in, if it's a common setting that I shoot in, as well as, you know, the presets, the color profile, my camera, but you know, it all looks it works well together. But if you are a client who's looking at a photographer's images and there are like one or two photo sets in general that made you stop and be like, oh my gosh, I want that. Okay, I want that. It's solidified working with that photographer because of those image sets. I want you to look back at those image sets and evaluate what the person is wearing or the people are wearing. The color of the clothes is going to have a big factor in the feel of the image, which this brings me to my next point, and that is going to be consider the environment. Now, this could mean in terms of specifically coordinating the clothing to complement the environment, the setting, the backdrop with the surroundings, but also consider the environment when it comes to selecting the kind of clothes that you are choosing. In most cases, you want the clothes to make sense with the environment that you will be shooting in. Unless like you are purposely juxtaposing a wedding dress in a forest environment, you're purposely juxtaposing something. But for example, a most blatant example I can think of, it's like if you're shooting let's say either a wedding or engagement photos, you're shooting like a dress, for instance, and you're in a snowy environment, a snowy area, you probably want to choose a dress that has long sleeves and looks and feels maybe a little bit more wintry with the long sleeves versus like a strapless dress that you might wear maybe at the beach, or even just a strapless gown in general. I think that stylistically you still want it to make sense with the environment. Like I said, unless you're wanting to juxtapose it, but when it comes to clients, like if we're going to be shooting out in nature and it's clear that it's wintertime or it's fall, you probably want to choose a dress that is appropriate for that season. It's seasonally appropriate. Going back a little bit to the colors of the environment, have the environment and the colors that you're wearing be a palette. So if you are wanting to shoot out in nature and the background is going to be forest greens and a lot of browns and rich tones, maybe consider wearing those same tones or jewel tones or neutrals in your outfit, so everything is it's harmonized, if you will. Now the next thing that I want you to take into account is layers. If you are wearing a dress or a skirt that day, I want you to bring along a sweater or a cardigan that you can throw on over it. Even if you're like, oh, all my sweaters are baggy and then my dress is kind of flowy, it doesn't work. Just tie the sweater in a little knot, give yourself a waist, or even like kind of hold the sweater, make it work. Just the idea is to throw little things on to mix up the photos a tiny bit and add as much variety as you can without doing a complete wardrobe change. Guys, if you're wearing a sweater, consider putting something on underneath it to add a little bit of layers, add a little bit interest. Even girls, like let's say it's summertime, you have a spaghetti strap kind of top or dress or romper, maybe even consider putting on some kind of like layered off the shoulder top underneath it, or a blouse, just to add again a little bit of layers, interest, texture, pattern. There's so many things that you guys can do. These are just guidelines to look at what you already have in your wardrobe and to build from there. Next up, we're going to talk about details, jewelry, accessories, etc. First off, have your nails be clean or full manicure, but don't have chipped nail polish, in my opinion. Now, if that's intentionally your style, that's what you want to do, go for it. But generally speaking, I would advise either clean nails or full manicure. Not full manicure like you have to go to the salon and get them done and stuff, but just have them painted clean and nice. Add a few rings to add a bit of detail into the shot. Grab a few rings that you have. Maybe you don't typically wear them all together because you're like, no, it's too bold, it's too much. Trust me, just add them in. It's a nice little detail. You're doing that close-up shot and you have your hands up here. Nice manicure, nice nails, fresh nails, nice nails, a little bit of rings. Enhances the portrait a little bit. Doesn't overpower it, but just enhances it. Another extreme specific but good example is, do you have multiple ear piercings, but you only wear the first one? The photo shoot is a great opportunity to add in those other piercings that you have, add those earrings into those holes. Even if you don't typically every day do that, it just adds a little bit of detail, of interest to the shot. It completes the look, if you will, to have the jewelry, the earrings, the nails done nice and clean. Guys, do you own a watch that you never really wear? Throw that on. Like, now's the time. Just these little accessories and details. As you guys can see, I'm just giving guidelines. I'm not giving exact outfits combinations because everyone's wardrobe is different. And to be honest, this advice is better than me just giving you outfit formulas to wear. This advice is so much more powerful because you can translate it into any kind of photo shoot, any style. You're probably thinking, but what about if I'm shooting a couple? If you're shooting a couple, 2 people or family, I want you to take all these tips, just translate it into a way that everybody is coordinating. They're not matching unless you would intentionally want to do that. Coordination. Make sure it's coordinating. It's as simple as that. I don't want you to overthink this. I really don't want you to. I want you to think about it and be intentional, but I don't want you to get too much in your head about it. As a little bonus, I have 2 more things I'm going to share with you. Number 1 is other things that you can bring. Bring along a bag packed with a few accessories or even like props, if you will, to add into your photos. Whether it's like that chunky cardigan or that sweater to throw on over your outfit, or if it's a wide brim hat, or if it's even red lipstick to bring to shoot at the very end of the shoot. If you're gonna do red lipstick and you don't have red lipstick on for the majority of the shoot, do it at your last photos because it's really hard to take off red lipstick. These things can add variety to your images without changing the whole look, and I think it's really great. And photographers love, like I love when clients do bring a few things to add in with their photos, a little bit of props. This could even look like a blanket or even a really big scarf that you could use as a blanket to sit down on the ground with, or wrap around you if you have a couple. There's so many different things. You can get creative. You know what you own, you know what you have. Maybe you as a photographer even have some props that you could bring along for your clients. But I encourage you to do that. Again, it's all about variety. The last thing I want to talk about, and this can be one of the most important ones, is focusing on movement. If you love, whether you're a client or a photographer, if you love those whimsical shots, poses that include a lot of movement, wind, running, jumping, spinning, twirling, that very romantic feeling, if you will, even if it's just one person, that's still very romantic, flowy feeling, consider wearing, if you're a girl especially, a skirt or a dress that allows for that movement, or a top that has those kind of sleeves, that has the material that is soft and moves around. You know, don't do something so structured if you want a lot of those whimsical kind of photos, because again, what you wear is going to directly affect the final result. And if you're looking at an image set of a photographer and you're saying, I want that, and you need to look at the images and say, okay, well, there's a lot of wind blowing around and it looks very romantic and flowy. Well, that's because the girl is actually wearing a long flowy skirt, so the wind can actually blow around, as opposed to maybe wearing something that's a little bit more close cut. Have your outfit then be a little bit more drapey and not so structured, and this can still apply to guys and to men's wear. Make sure that the top and the material of your shirt is a little bit more flowy, or I don't know, like polyester or whatever. Don't do something super tight fitting then. If you like a certain way that a photographer's images are, I want you to evaluate why you like that image and everything about the photo that is contributing to the final result, because what you wear will affect how the environment affects your final result. If you're up on a canyon and it's windy and it's wonderful, but you're wearing a shirt that just doesn't allow for movement, or a dress that's maybe short and maybe it's a little bit more tight or structured or whatever you might be, you're not going to get that same effect because of how the material is, how you're styled. This is a long video, but it's so good, and I'm really excited to teach you guys about what to wear to photo shoots, or what to suggest to clients to wear. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit subscribe down below, and do not forget to check out Skillshare linked below. If you want me to continue to create free YouTube tutorials on a weekly basis for you, please be sure to show some support and click subscribe and check out Skillshare. Sign up for that free trial, no credit card required. It will play a huge role in moving your business forward. I also have my online photography workshop linked down below. If you love what you see here on YouTube and on Instagram, you are going to love my online photography marketing workshop. I love you guys, I believe in you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!